Number one rule, Warren Buffett's number one rule, don't lose money. Warren Buffett's number two rule, don't lose money. Contracting is a different animal. You're gonna lose money though. Here we're gonna go to a job site. We had an accident happen with a fiberglass swimming pool. Problem with the main drains, and I'm gonna show you so you don't make this mistake. This is probably gonna cost us about 7 G's. It's part of the business though. You're gonna learn, you're gonna grow. This is only our second year in pool building, especially fiberglass shells, so mistakes happen. And we got a lot of stuff on our plate, but the main thing is we're making it right. We explain the situation to the homeowner. They're very understanding. We're working out some other deals and doing some extra work just to help with the delay. And I would say this is going to cost us about 6-7 grand in extra work and labor, materials, and water and whatnot. But it's part of the game. You're going to make these mistakes, but the biggest thing is how do you adjust and recover, and how do you learn from it so you don't keep making the same mistakes. And that's my goal of this video, is to show you if you're ever putting a fiberglass pool in the ground, you don't make this mistake, because this is going to cost you money. Come this way, I'll show you what we're doing. So this is a fiberglass pool build, what we're talking about over here. You can see down there we got our main drains. The main drains are the absolute worst things to have leaking on a swimming pool. The reason why is they're all the way down at the bottom. You can see them down there. That's what we're talking about. Bam, bam. And you can see down there, we'll go on the other side so I can show you. As you can see our main drains, you can see a little bit on this one, that the main drain, it wasn't put on a perfectly flush surface. And it was on an angle here. So you can see what happens is there's a more gap here and there's no gap here, which normally isn't too big of a deal if you use enough silicone. You can see over there, that is a really good, strong commercial grade silicone that will never leak for the most part. So what we would have done differently next time, and I should have saw this, or project manager should have saw this. It's, you know, accidents happen. Accidents happen in business all the time. But next time, what we need to do is put this here on a flush surface, because you can see there's that, you know, there's that, whatever, the, you know, the bow there. So you can see over there, the better spot would be to put it here. But even this fiberglass pool is just not level. So it is, you know, I see what happened there. But at the same time, when you go about 6 inches or up, or maybe even 4 inches up, it's not too much better. These walls just aren't straight. You can see it's. So next time what we need to do is just use a lot more silicone. And there's gaskets that come in these kits. The best way to use it is to get rid of the gaskets and just use a lot of good commercial grade silicone. So that's what we're doing. This one's not leaking. How we figured that out, you know, we had this thing filled with water, right? So how we figured it out is we had a diver with a dive tank come in here, and he went around and he tested all these fittings to make sure nothing else is leaking. He also put in there dye, and the dye, when you're underwater, it will get sucked out if there's a leak. So he put dye around there, it was fine. He put dye around there and it was getting pulled through, which showed there was a leak. Then we went around the other way and dug all the way down. It's about 6 feet. Dug all the way down, and then we noticed that there was a leak. And it's not too fun to figure that out, especially this is the absolute worst spot to have a leak on a swimming pool. So one thing, when you're putting these pools in, to triple check. And the fiberglass pools are a little tough, right? So you got to fill it in with water, right? You're filling it up with water, and at the same time you got to backfill on the other side with pea gravel. The reason why is it's flimsy. So if you backfill first, it's going to bow this way. And if you add all the water and then backfill, it's going to bow out. So it has to be done simultaneously. But another thing that we would do to do this right next time is to fill water to here, test it. Before we call our water truck, we'll test that with a hose, test it, make sure there's no leaks, make sure there's no problems, and then visually look around and make sure there's no leaks, especially these two, because these are the most two important. The reason why, they're the hardest to get to. So if they're leaking, it's going to cost you the most money. Hope this trick saves you some money. Come around this side, I'll show you what we're talking about. Over here you can kind of see what we're talking about. We got our main drains, they come in. So that's what I'm talking about, is I would next time leave this exposed, fill that with water, and make sure it's above that point. Let me get down there and show you. This isn't the most safe thing, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So you can see down there, so next time to do this right, what we do is we fill water up to this point. And then we'd be able to see that there's no leaks. And that's very, very important. That will determine that this is holding water, and then you can therefore fill it up, backfill with pea gravel, you're good to go. So, hope you save some money with this trick. Hope you learn some stuff. But yes, definitely make sure you test your main drains before you fill with water. Very, very important. And use a lot of silicone. Make sure you hit the notification bell and the subscribe button. I'm gonna bring you tons of value and tons of free content.